Well, I'd like to say good evening to everyone who's tuning in tonight. Tonight's show, I was going to talk about the number 666. However, today we're going to talk about determination, the determination of John G. Jones, the determination of John G. Jones. And I'm going to share with you today different articles that was written in regards to John G. Jones and his brother John, his uncle John Jones. And some people will be surprising, some it won't. But these articles are coming from the Grand Lodge of Illinois, and it's positive. They said some very positive things in regards to Jones. This comes out of the 2012 uh, their annual newsletter that is put out. This is from the 2012 newsletter of the Most Wishful Grand Lodge of Illinois, PHA. And I know brothers often say, well, can you just do something without talking about PHA? And yes, I can. However, that's not going to be tonight's show. And a lot of my shows will get around that because a lot of people want to know. If they didn't want to know and people want me to do something different, I will. I've been often asked about doing various shows on the esoteric side of Freemasonry. I'm going to do that. I've been asked to just do a variety of different things, and that's in the works. So don't think that I'm just limited to the PHA John G. Jones type of show, and that's not this show. This show is really open to a variety of things, but a lot of the questions I get is based on that John G. Jones PHA factor. Hold on just a second. So that's where this show is at tonight. So we're going to be talking about the determination of John G. Jones. Greeting everyone that's coming on. I'm coming on kind of late here. I have brother Debo Teller. He's going to be joining us tonight. He told me to tag him once I'm on, so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to tag him in tonight, let him know that he's my guest on tonight's show. And I'm quite sure that he has a lot of information that he's definitely going to be sharing with us as far as some things that he's come across. So I'm looking for tonight's show to be pretty interesting as far as the information that's going to be coming down the pike. So please join us and tell somebody else about us. Hit the like button, and we're going to get right into it. So tonight's show is we're going to talk about the determination of John G. Jones and finding out exactly what does the Grand Lodge of Illinois actually think of John G. Jones. I hear about what a lot of other brothers think about him, but this is something that they wrote, and it wasn't negative. Um, and I found it to be pretty enlightening. I found it to be something that I believe that all of us can definitely enjoy. And I'm letting Brother Debo Teller know now that we're on. I'm texting him the number now. 860-642. Call in now. All right, so we're on. I'll be waiting for his call tonight. So the call in number tonight is going to be 619-286-0642. So I'm going to begin by saying that I hope everyone always gets something out of this show. And to my sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star, I know I've been asked to do something in regards to that. And I don't mind. I certainly will. And I believe that I got two shows in the progress that I'm gathering information on, and I'm getting some help on it. The two shows I'm looking at, one is what's supposed to be tonight, and that was the number 666. I was going to talk about that. And then I'm going to do one on the Eastern Star, but it's about those emblems that is around the altar of the Eastern Star, which a lot of times we don't get an opportunity to talk about. Also, I'm hoping that my Grand Master would definitely stop by tonight, show his face just to say hi. He said he would do that. So I want you to check out this new glass I got. How y'all like that? Y'all like that? I like that too. So definitely to all my Elus out there tonight, how you doing, Elus? I appreciate you, definitely. So I want each of you tonight to have a Coke and a smile. And definitely, we're about to get it in. I want to send a big shout out to all of my brothers of the ancient, free, and accepted Masons, to my brothers who are PHA, my international, my modern, free, to all the brothers of the craft and sisters of the order. Good evening to you. I hope that this a message find you and your friends, your family, your loved ones doing well. Greetings to all. So let's get right into this. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Hold on just a second. Brother Robert, I was just calling to find out in regards to tomorrow night's meeting. The NAACP meeting tomorrow night. Uh, would you please check it out for me? I got something to do right now, and I'll hit you right back. Sister Maxine, Francine. Oh, certainly I do, my brother. I appreciate it, but you called me at a bad time. I'm not lying. Well, you know what? Don't let it be a habit. Don't, and I appreciate it. So give. I tell you what. Give me about 30 minutes. I'm gonna hit you right back. I know that, but I want to just talk to you. All right. Love you, man. Peace. That was Brother Tambuzi. You know, I mean, I'm part of the NAACP, right? So we got a meeting. I just don't know what time it is tomorrow. So I'm just trying to find out. So let's just get right into this. Greetings to all who are coming on tonight. I certainly want to say how much I appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, yeah, man. Check this out. You gotta love it, right? You gotta love it. You know? To all my Elus. I have a whole set. I have a whole set. I have there's a Masonic brother who does these glasses, and these are $10 glasses, and I have a whole set. I have a Royal Arch, I have the Knights Templars, I have the Shriners, I have the 32nd, I have one set for my Grand Lodge, I have one set for my Lodge. I have a whole set, man. And the brother did it. I've had this one for about 2 years now, and it is held up very well. Wouldn't you say so, Brother Elu? Very well. So let's get right into tonight's show. So first we're going to talk about John Jones. John Jones was the uncle of John G. Jones, for those who don't know this particular story. So I'm going to start reading this right here. This is what I'm reading right here, okay? This is the article from 2012 newsletter of the most wishful Grand Lodge of Illinois, PHA, okay? This is their news article on John G. Jones. This was sent to me by a brother, and I just want to share it with you. So we're going to get right into it. It says, questions and answers on the two John Jones. Analysis on how they were. Okay, it goes on to say, who would ever think that the middle initial would be a solution to such a confusion in the Masonic ranks? So at one time there was a confusion between John Jones and John G. Jones. Okay, there are many who mistake John Jones for another. In viewing past proceedings, the most wishful Grand Lodge of Illinois, we have found multiple brothers who also shared the same name. Several of them was prominent. However, two stands out among the group. Those two rose to great heights and ranks in the Masonic order and social circle of the most wishful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Illinois and Freemason, while the other fell from high ranks to disgrace. Both have first names John and the last name Jones. And the funny thing is that both of them was expelled from the most wishful from the most wishful Grand Lodge of Illinois, according to their records. They say both of them failed, was expelled, but one of them fell with in disgrace, as they say. And that's the funny thing. So let's get right on into it. It says, yet it is simple as the middle initial, the letter G, distinguishes a historic determination from a history of indignation. The objects of this author is to provide an answer to some of the most common questions to which protects the mind of many, and have posted questions and answers on Facebook, tweet, email groups, and other social medias outlets that have not been 100% accurate. Well, I will tell you this. The information that I personally have collected in regards to John G. Jones is, in my opinion, unless someone wants to debate, is 100% accurate. And let's move on. This article will address some of them. The credentials listed under the photo of the most wishful brother John G. Jones, right? Wishful brother John G. Jones, should provide answer to others. All in all, primarily intends to aim and render with the historical truth surrounding them both references, so the confusion between the two can be closed for once and for all. When did both of them come to Illinois, and when did they become Freemasonry? When did John Jones and when did John G. Jones come to Illinois? All right. Most wishful John G. Jones was born in North Carolina, 1817. That's not true. It's actually it's 1850 when John. They said Brother Jones. They may be just talking about the first Jones, which is John Jones. Was born in 1817, migrated to the city of Alton, Illinois in 1830. Alton was the largest city in the state of Illinois at the time. When Illinois and Michigan Channel opened in 1840, many African Americans migrated to the northern Illinois for the increasing opportunities. The channel created a link from the Mississippi River to Chicago, like Michigan, which made Chicago a blustering metropolis. So Jones moved to Chicago in 1842 and set up shop in a teller and purchased real estate. Okay, so he must be talking about the first Jones, which is John Jones, which is his uncle. He was an abolitionist, and he helped many slaves to freedom. Let's have an understanding. John G. Jones' uncle helped many slaves to freedom. How many of us knew that? Because I certainly didn't. Could you hold on just a second for me? All right. That was my grandmaster. Got to open the door for him, you know? So with that being said, okay, so in 1840, many African Americans migrated to northern Illinois for the increasing opportunity. The channel created a link from Mississippi River to Chicago, like Michigan was made Chicago a blistering metropolitan area. So John Jones moved to Chicago in 1842 and set up shop as a teller and purchased real estate. As an abolitionist, he helps free many slaves through the Underground Railroad in Illinois. His successor in business made him one of the wealthiest Chicagoans by 1850. His efforts within the abolitionist movement were the basis for his formation of the convention movement, also making him one of Chicago's most prominent civil leaders. He also served others, was made a Mason in 1851. So John Jones was made a Mason in 1850 by Richard Howell of Ohio jurisdiction, and was formed into North Star Lodge under the dispensation charter of North Star Lodge number 12. In 1852, he served as Worshipful Master of North Star Lodge and for 7 non-consecutive terms, 1857 to 1861, 1864 to 1865. He was elected Grand Master of Ohio from 1865 to 1867. He died in 1879. And then it goes on to say John G. Jones was born in Wichita, New York in 1854 and became a Mason in 1872. So he knew his uncle pretty well. Okay, he knew his uncle pretty well. And that's why I believe that the original General Grand Masonic Congress, or the first General Grand Masonic Congress, was established in Ohio at that time because John Jones' uncle was the Grand Master of Ohio. That's what I'm getting from this article. And if you want a copy, I can forward this to you. If you are my friend on Facebook and you want a copy, I will forward everything that I'm reading to you today before I can get out of here. Now, next question: did the most wishful Prince Hall Grand Lodge in Illinois name John Jones Lodge number 7 after John G. Jones? I can answer that, and absolutely not. The short answer of course is no. John Jones Lodge number 7 was named after the most wishful brother Jones in 1868, which is his uncle, who soon after transferred his membership to this lodge. In 1868, John Jones was only 14 years of age. John G. Jones, that is, was only 14 years of age, not old enough to be a Mason. This is also an excellent indication that the lodge was not in his name. It is important to note that the actual date did not become a member of the lodge until 1872. However, once he did become a member, he was immediately a prominent appointed senior deacon of the lodge. So once John G. Jones became a member of John Jones Lodge, they made him or appointed him senior deacon. He went straight to senior deacon. Now, it says, when was John G. Jones initiated, suspended, and why was he finally expelled? Now we getting down some nitty gritty. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see what they have to say. Good evening to everybody. I'm just having a great time here tonight. Trust me, I'm having a ball right now. You guys don't even know. I'm telling you, you don't even know of the good time I'm having tonight. So tonight we're just talking about the determination of John G. Jones and the things that he's done within Freemasonry. So I'm gonna check this out. So check this out. So John Jones was an abolitionist, okay, the father of the convention movement, okay. He chartered members of Illinois' first lodge, okay. He was a chartered member of Illinois' first lodge, North Star Lodge, number 12, jurisdiction of Ohio, 1852. Worshipful Master, North Star Lodge from 1857 to 1861, and from 1864 to 1865. Okay, he drove and repealed the Illinois Black Laws in 1865. Grand Master of Grand Lodge of Illinois from 1865 to 1867. He concentrated the Illinois Grand Lodge and representative of the National Grand Lodge in 1867. That's his uncle, John Jones. Okay, namesake of John Jones Lodge number 7 of Chicago, Illinois in 1868. First black elected to public office in the state of Illinois after the Reconstruction in 1871. Cook County Commission. Boom. That just shows you how the Joneses roll. I'm just saying. The whole family, there were four brothers that was members of Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Illinois. And all of them was supposed to have gotten suspended, including John Jones. I'm just saying, but they're not saying that he left with the disgrace. It's only John Jones that left and he was disgraced. You know what I mean? So, let's move on. Hey, Grant.
What was it?
Hey, I got some corn with some shrimp, with some sausages. Oh, man, go get some.
Where's that?
It's in the kitchen, man. Go get some. I'm there, man. Tell you no, why put it down? Man, I've been eating all night. Okay. Did the most wishful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Illinois name the? I said no. When was John G. Jones initially suspended? And why was he finally expelled? Now, I'm going to say this here before I read this article. Do I personally believe that John G. Jones was expelled or suspended? I'm going to say no. Okay? After I read this article, I'm going to tell you why I say he was not. All right? So let's go on. There are multiple accounts of why he was initially suspended and expelled. He and his brothers, uh, Theodore Washington Jones, were initially suspended in 1887. I told you the Joneses was all up in it in 1887 by Grandmaster Joseph W. Moore for insubordination in rebellion. He was just that type of guy. Now, they say that both of them were suspended then, all right? Then it says T.W. Jones. There's another Jones. T.W. Jones was initially reprimanded for having exposed Masonic secrets through public literature at I think that's Winston College in 1885. This was not dealt with, though, until 1887. Okay? John Jones was initially reprimanded for issuing Grand Lodge communication without permission. In August, the Joneses submitted circular information in affiliated Grand Lodge to call a Masonic convention. So John G. Jones and his brothers called for a Masonic convention in Illinois without the approval of Grand Master on August of 1887. They called a convention. They're saying that the Joneses, they called a convention in 1887. Okay, they was like, hey, you know what? We're going to make this thing pop off right here. So, this is on August 31st, 1887. And then it says Grandmaster Moore suspended them both until setting of the annual session in October. In response, John G. Jones issued a new circulation to affiliate Grand Lodges, denouncing the Grand Master and his brother. The Grand Secretary, right, which was Brother Richard E. Moore. Okay, so the Grand Master is named Moore, and the Secretary is named Richard E. Moore. I wonder were they brothers? Something to think about now. Something to think about. I just want you to hold that thought. The Grand Master name is Moore. His name is Joseph W. Moore. And the Grand Secretary for State at that time was named Richard E. Moore. Now you have T.W. Jones and you have John G. Jones, two brothers. I just want you to hold that thought for a minute. Now, for suspension of him and his brothers, in addition, they filed a suit against the Grand Master and the Grand Lodge to debate the matter before the courts. They didn't make it before the courts. They brought them back. They didn't even go to court, all right? After much deliberation in October 1887, Grand Lodge session, the Jones brothers agreed to drop their lawsuit and apologize for insubordination to the Grand Lodge. They didn't even make it to court, all right? Even though they had to apologize, say, look, bro, I'm sorry. Yeah, you know what? I'm a bad mother, shut your mouth, so I'm going to go ahead and just apologize and come on back. They didn't make it to court. It says the Grand Lodge subsequently moved to restore them both. John G. Jones was finally expelled in 1903. I want you to remember that year, 1903, by Grandmaster Henry Burns for contumacy, C-O-N-T-U-M-A-C. Only thing that means is that they did not agree. He was like, I'm doing what I got to do. Simple as that. It wasn't that he broke any Grand Lodge bylaws. It was just that they had a disagreement. That's why he was finally suspended in 1903. But they failed to mention that in 1896, John G. Jones was the most puissant sovereign grand commander for the United Supreme Council, Southern and Western Masonic jurisdiction. They failed to mention that. I wonder why. Ask this question. Could I be a member of a Grand Lodge and be part of another Supreme Council of another totally different body? I often ask that. Say, no, you can't do it. You could be an honorary member, but you can't be an active member. Mind you, he's the most puissant sovereign grand commander in 1896, okay? Where did those brothers come from that was following him? Because they had all of the appending bodies. So where did they come from? All right, let's go on. Did John G. Jones fight against clandestine Masons, irregular Freemasons? When then did he go wrong? What happened? That's the question. What happened? If he fought against what we call clandestine Masons, what happened? All right, so let's see what happened. He said, John G. Jones actually held a strong disdain for Grand Lodges that held allegiance to the National Grand Lodge or National Compact after Illinois withdrew in 1877. Now think about this here. If you have a McCoy's Masonic Encyclopedia, page 439, at the bottom of that page, it says that in 1877, there was Masons who called for John G. Jones to be their leader. It is called the John G. Jones Affiliation. That's what it was called. And that was in 1877 at the same time or right after this convention the same year. Coors Masonic Encyclopedia. The year is 1961. The page is 438. Go get that book and tell me what you think. All right? While he was serving as Deputy Grand Master, he introduced the following resolution in 1877 at the annual Grand Lodge communication, which was adopted. Be it resolved that we, the officers and members of the most worshipful Grand Lodge of Illinois, here assembled in the annual communication, do hereby instruct the delegates who may represent this Grand Lodge in the National Masonic Convention to be assembled in May next to enter his solemn protest against any attempt to establish a national Grand Lodge claiming a higher power than a state Grand Lodge. Boom. All right? Just the facts. I just want you to listen to the facts now. Just the facts. All right? All right, let's move on. It says, Initial G distinguish a legacy of determination from indignation. John G. Jones. That's my type of guy. I just had to throw that in like a movie, some shit like that. John G. Jones. I'm just having a ball tonight, y'all. Y'all don't even know.
The G in the symbol stands for.
Hey, you know what? The next time somebody asks me about my G in the middle of my compass and square, I'm going to say it stands for. G stands for John G. Jones. Gregory, as a matter of fact. I think it's great. Is it great? It's George. George. That's what it stands for. Next time somebody said, Brother Hawkins, what's that G in the middle of that compass and square? It stands for George. Oh, man, tonight I'm having a ball, let me tell you. So, let's go into this here next article. It says, Indignation. The initial G distinguish a legacy of determination and indignation. All right. It says clearly, he understood Masonic landmarks. He also offered a second solution to which also was adopted. Whereas it has come to our knowledge that there is still exists in the state of Kansas, Texas, Arkansas, Indiana, territories, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee, fragments of a Grand Lodge pretending to hold allegiance to the so-called National Compact. Resolved that the Grand Lodge of Illinois refuse to recognize or affiliate with members of said National Compact of Grand Lodges or any members of subordinate lodges belonging thereto. That's what they said he said. They're saying that John G. Jones made this resolution and it got passed. That's what they're saying. Now, do I disagree with it? I wasn't there. This is what they're saying. So, shalom. Let's move on. It says, so he also understood the biases for irregularity. Furthermore, after being expelled in 1903, he lost all rights and privileges as a Mason. As a past deputy Grand Master, they're still not telling you that in 1896, he was elected the most puissant sovereign Grand Commander of a whole nother jurisdiction. You know what the argument is about that? Well, the Scottish Rite is not part of any Masonic organization. That's a lie. Let me tell you why that's a lie. In order for me to move up into the appending bodies of the York Rite or Scottish Rite. I have to be part of a Grand Lodge that is recognized by that body. Hear me clearly. I don't care what jurisdiction you're in as far as the regulations of Freemasonry is concerned. Here in America, if you want to move up York Rite or Scottish Rite, your Grand Lodge has to have a mutual agreement with that supreme body in order for you to move forward. All right? Now, they said that he was expelled in 1903. He lost all rights and privileges as a Mason. As a past Deputy Grand Master and past Grand Secretary of State of Illinois, he clearly understood Masonic actions afterwards were irregular. I believe he started his own Grand Lodge purely out of spite. Well, let me tell you, one person can't start a Grand Lodge. One person cannot start a Grand Lodge. And when St. John's Grand Lodge was organized, it said it was incorporated in 1903. But nobody knows exactly when it was organized. So you can organize something way before you incorporate it. I just want you to think for a moment. You can already have an established organization. And you don't even have to be nonprofit. And then when you choose to incorporate that organization within that state, that's when you go to that state and incorporate that organization. So in 1903, John G. Jones, William Gray, and others, and I say others because it's not listed who were the others, okay, incorporated St. John's Grand Lodge, all right? That was in 1903. So who's to say that that Grand Lodge was not established before that time? I just want you to think for a moment. You know, and I know of other organizations who are up and running, but they're not incorporated in this state. They're not. So let's go on and see what else they had to say. They said, lest some of the civic victories, they're listing some of the civic victories. Now, here's where they're going to praise John G. Jones. Let's have an understanding about this whole thing. Now they're finna praise John G. Jones. List some of the civic victories won by the most wishful brother John G. Jones. I just want you to think for a moment. Where did all this clandestine thing come from? You know, I'm just saying. Considering he was an abolitionist, John G. Jones was an abolitionist too. He along with many others in the city of Chicago, Alton, Springfield, served hundreds from the throne of, saved hundreds from the thorns of slavery. They said he saved hundreds from the throne, from the thorns of slavery through the participation in the Underground Railroad. So they're telling you that John G. Jones, John Jones, and his brother T.W. Jones worked the Underground Railroad. They're telling you this. Man,
You all want tonight.
Bruh, I'm gonna have a Coke and a smile. And I'm gonna have, I need some ice for my Coke. When you get through, would you please, sir, right there as you walk through the hallway, on your right, on your left, directly on your left, on the shelf,
Okay.
it says Mason. Okay, it says Mason. Look for the word. It says Mason, okay? You don't have to pronounce the other words before that, but it says Mason. All right? I need some ice. All right? I'm just saying, man. Come on now. Talk back to me, somebody. So it says, all right, their participation in Underground Railroads. It says, many fugitive slaves fled northward through Illinois by the light of the North Star to Michigan. North Star Lodge. To Michigan. And to Canada, to freedom. Jones was a major conductor along with past Grandmaster Isaac H. Kelly, Alton, Benjamin F. Rogers of Springfield. Undoubtedly, this is why the first three lodges in Illinois was located in Chicago, Alton, and Springfield. He also designated as a founder of the convention movement. This movement not only drove the element of Illinois' black laws in 1865, but also prominent Illinois politician to become one of the first state to ratify the 13th and 14th Amendment. John G. Jones in 1865 pushed to ratify the 14th and 13th Amendment. Think about that. All I'm saying is to think about it. Nothing more,
Just need
nothing
ice.
less. I need some ice along with some Mason, and that'll work. I have a Coke and I have a smile. Thank you. So let's move on. And then it says to the United States Constitution, which repeals slavery and protection of the rights of blacks under the law. Representative his resolved the product of his successor led his election to the first African American elected office of the state of Illinois. The product of, okay, and then it says after Reconstruction in 1871, also defended the legitimacy of African Americans Freemasonry. He defended the freedom of African Freemasonry in the United States. Come on, somebody talk back to me tonight because we off the chain. If you want to call into this show tonight, the number is 619-286-0642. We can have this conversation tonight. So let's move on. All right. So it goes on to say, after he was elected to office in the state Illinois, and during the Reconstruction, the first African American elected to that state in 1871, he also defended the legitimacy of African American Freemasonry on a global scale. On a global scale, he defended us. Let's not get it twisted. Okay. And it's also said it was across America where he held to be where he was held to be the legitimate Freemason. He also visited England and visit other American lodges. In articles published in the Chicago Tribune on January the 9th, 1876,
When?
Jones issued when okay. Jones issued an article titled "A Colored Mason." Article published in the Chicago Tribune in 1876. Okay. All right. Then it goes on to say he defended Prince Hall and his offsprings. Okay. Furthermore, he defended the color masons that were subsequently published in the Tribunal in the Tribunal February 1876. Okay. Though the same method employed by Masons and Masonic lodges in Europe and effectively ended the debate. Man, come on now. See, y'all want to call him the father of clandestine Mason. Oh, you know, he the father of black Masons as far as I'm concerned. Now, granted, Prince Hall may have been initiated first as far as black Masons concerned. But what I'm telling you, in modern times, during that time, he was the man on a global scale. You can say whatever you want to say. The man was wealthy, well off, and moving. Now, this is an article from the Prince Hall newsletter from 2012. Boy, y'all got me. Woo. Man, have a Coke and a smile. Yes, indeed. Okay. Many believe that John G. Jones was simply arrogant, self-absorbed, and did he do anything for society? I just read what the man did for society from the Grand Lodge of Illinois, PHA. You gonna ask me if he did anything for society? Come on now. He was part of the Underground Railroad for that time. I just want you guys to think about how we try to dishonor our own people. Granted, maybe there was some disagreement between him and the Grand Master, knowing that the Grand Master last name was Moore, the Grand Secretary last name was Moore. Come on, the fix was in as far as I'm concerned. That's just my personal opinion. How true is that? I don't know. Everybody has opinions, you know, but I'm just telling you what they have written and what I'm reading, what they have written. Now, if you want this article and you're a friend of mine on Facebook, I will forward you this article, okay? Now, let's move on. It says, many believe that John G. Jones was simply arrogant, self-absorbent. Did he do anything for society? Hell yeah. Okay, let's check it out. Well, John G. Jones was definitely a fighter. That's what they're saying. He was definitely a fighter. The eighth black admitted to the bar in Illinois in 1884. He was extremely aggressive in attacking his opponent in society, legally and civic. Legally and civic. He also snatched an opponent in a special tournament based on race and combination. For an example, he fought vigorously against the effort of Dr. Daniel Hale Williams to establish a provident hospital in Chicago to train black nurses. He felt there were intelligent enough to do without him despite his racial practices of the day. He was also a staunch opponent in effort of Booker T. Washington. Oh, him and Booker T. Washington did not get along. Let's have an understanding. John G. Jones and Booker T. Washington did not get along. They were not friends. Okay, both were black. They both had their opinion, but did they get along? No. They did not get along. They didn't. They didn't get along. I want to say before I continue today, I want to welcome everybody to the show. Greetings to all the brothers of the craft and sisters of the order. This is just a little history on John G. Jones, the determination of the man. You know, wasn't John G. Jones the uncle? Yes, he was the uncle. Absolutely right. Illuminated. Yes, I think that what he just said. Yes, I did say that. Boy, I'm on one tonight. Let me tell you. I got my NAACP meeting tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I'm in that. I'm in Black Men's United. That's another movement here in San Diego. You know, if you're not involved with helping your people to succeed in life, then what are you? You're useful. You're not even useful. Hey, if you're not involved with helping somebody that look like you to be successful in life, you're not even useful to me. Hear me clearly. I just want to say that because that's what I'm all about. I don't care what jurisdiction you're in. Forget all the nonsense. Oh, don't wish you can be like John G. Jones. Be you, brother New Era King. Be you, man. You're the best person to be you. Don't wish you can be like nobody else but you. Yes, he was PHA. He missed the voting and didn't want to be in the seat. The craft close. He chose him. Okay, all right. He was secretary. I'm inspired to be the example of John Jones. Malcolm Prophet, you need to stop. Frederick Douglass, my great-great-great-grandfather, Archer Alexander. Okay. Why do you do a YouTube show? I'm not going to even entertain that one. I should delete you, but I'm in a great mood today. He was next to be potentate, sovereign grand commander. He incorporated the same name as the Scottish Rite one. Brother Hawkins, he was expelled, but prior to that, he was established his own lodge nationally. Plus, he had control over many of the Masonic appending bodies of Prince Hall. He did. Yes, sir. You're absolutely right, Illuminating Light. I don't know where you got your information from, but you are correct. All right. So it goes on to say, converse degrees out. Oh, he conversed degrees outside of the regular constituted lodge. Broke his Masonic obligation. Fractionalized United of Freemasonry for blacks. This is interesting. You did. No, my grandmasters, I got to show some respect. So, this is why 1877 year is the original year of John G. Jones. Speak more on that. Oh, yeah. Let me finish this, and I'm going to go to the year 1877. Because 1877 says a lot. It really speaks volumes. All right. On my Masonic jacket, I have established 1877. For our Grand Lodge banner, it says organized 1877. Incorporated 1990. Yeah, we roll like that. So let's see what else I got here. It says, for an example, John G. Jones fought vigorously against the efforts of Dr. Daniel uh, Hale Williams to establish a private hospital. And then it goes on. Then it goes on to say that him and Booker T. Washington didn't get along based on his speech in the South in the early 1890s. Like W.E. Du Bois, Jones felt. Now check this out. Booker T. Washington and John G. Jones didn't get along at all. But him and W.D. Du Bois, they was cool. Now think about this here, gentlemen and ladies. What if you was around during that time? John G. Jones, a prominent Mason. Here he is with Booker T. Washington and W.E. Du Bois. Damn. Ooh, isn't that be excited? All of them are Masons. Black Masons. There's no distinguishing of 4 and 3 letter Masons. All of them are black Masons. Now look, we can agree to disagree. But them brothers during that time, John G. Jones felt that Washington placed more importance on manual labor. Okay, that's what he felt. He felt that Booker T. Washington placed more importance on manual labor, training for the formal education, which appeared to be supported the accusations of many racists of that day, that blacks was not intelligent enough to exceed or excel in the educational area. In his 1995 Atlantic Composition speech, Washington concurred with the idea that the Southern blacks would submit to white politician rules or political rules and accommodate the unfair treatment. Jones highly despised the notion, which prompted him and his law partners, Elwood H. Moore, to denounce Washington at every turn. Their attacks mimicked the court's room and practices. Okay? They were like pit bulls. Damn. You know, they was like pit bulls. They were extremely aggressive, which resulted in Washington's slow growth in Chicago, while their tactics earned John G. Jones the nickname the Instigator. Oh shit, I'm mispronouncing the word, but anyway, the Instigator. Jones, in his confidence, served him and his partners well in the political arena, which is where his non-Masonic contribution had a positive effect. So they're saying his they're saying his non-Masonic contribution had a positive effect. Now I'm gonna start right there. I'm gonna talk about some of the positive contribution of his Masonic career. Number one is being the founder of the ancient Egypt Arabic Order of the Nobles of Mr. Shrine. Prince Hall, you remember you saying that? But it wasn't so, right? It was the ancient Arabic Order Nobles of the Mr. Shrine, 1893. John G. Jones, founder. I'm just saying, you can say whatever you want to say. He was a founder. And just because he was a Prince Hall Mason at the time, all right, if you thought that in 1900 you organized, okay, the nobles of the ancient Egypt Arabic Orders of the Nobles of the Mr. Shrine, you organized in 1900. The ancient Arabic Order of the Nobles of Mr. Shrine has never reorganized. Now, we may have several imperial councils, but we never reorganized. No, we haven't. You can say whatever you want to say. I'll tell you what, when I don that fez that says ancient Arabic Order, Nobles of the Mr. Shrine, float, float, float on. I'm just saying. All right, let me move on. So, It says Jones highly despised the notion which prompted him and his law firm and partner, Elwood H. Moore, to denounce Washington at every turn. The article mimicked the courtroom practices. They attacked like pit bulls. They were extremely aggressive and ruthless, and resulting in Washington's slow growth in Chicago. While these tactics earned John G. Jones the nickname the instigator, in that nation, I'm mispronouncing that word, damn. Jones, his confidence served him as his partner well in the political arena, and as his non-Masonic contribution had a positive effect. As the nephew of the commissioner, he was the nephew of the commissioner? Damn. John G. Jones was the nephew of the commissioner. I'm gonna have me some Coca-Cola. All right. His elevation as a black leader in a Republican Party was legendary. To gain Morris in an election in General Assembly in 1891. Together they represented T.W. Jones. That's another Jones. I'm telling you, them boys was running. I'm back. Hey, look, I don't know what happened. I don't. I couldn't tell you what happened.
Too hot.
Man. Ooh.
Too hot.
Man, I'm having a coconut smile at night. Yes, brother, I was having some technical difficulties. I don't know what happened. But let's continue, okay? All right, so we're going to go on down here, and we're going to talk about Jones being the nephew of the commissioner of Chicago. They say his elevation as a black leader in the Republican Party was legendary, or leveraged to gain more elections in the General Assembly in 1891. Together, they supported T.W. Jones, who won the election for Cook County Commissioner in 1894. The pressure of the governor, Charles S. Deans, to appoint an African American attorney to the state level as a result, fundamentally offending his friend Burnett became the first black assistant state attorney in Illinois in 1896. 1896, guys, that is the same year that John G. Jones incorporated the United Supreme Council of the Southern and Western Masonic Jurisdiction. That's the same year. All right? And also, how can you be the most puissant sovereign grand commander of another jurisdiction and be a member of a Grand Lodge in a whole different jurisdiction? That's not, it can't happen. It cannot happen. All right? I'm just saying, I just want you to think for yourselves for a moment. In 1897, they helped to form the Civic League for Illinois. John G. Jones subsequently gained election to the Illinois General Assembly in 1900. Their collected efforts created a powerful base for black politicians in the 20th century. I just want you to think for a moment. Just think. This is what Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Illinois is saying about Jones. They never called him clandestine in this article. They didn't. They may have said what went wrong, but they never, and they don't even mention the fact that he's the most puissant sovereign grand commander of a whole nother jurisdiction, 1895, 1896. And he served in that same position up until 1914 when he passed away. Boom. I'm just saying. I was waiting for Brother Debo Teller to call in tonight, but for whatever reason, what damn? Wait a minute, he probably did. Let's see what I got here. Nope, I gave him the right number to call in. He didn't call that number, so let's see what number did he call. First of all, I want to say welcome to everybody who's tuning in right now to the show. I know it's kind of late. My apologies, but you know what? There's other things that he called in at 8:30. Brother, that's the wrong number. Did you? Nope, wrong number, bro. Yeah, Teller tried to call in, so I'm gonna have to give him a call and see what's happening with him. Let's see what's happening. All right, I'm gonna go ahead on. It says, how many PHA organizations did John G. Jones help to form?
Hello?
Hey, bro, how you doing?
What's going on, bro? I tried to call you.
Okay, so you got to call this number. You need to call this number. All right. Look, I instant messaging you, and that number is
Uh-huh.
six. Okay, so the number you need to call in tonight is going to be 619-286-0642 is the call in number for tonight's show.
Okay. I got you.
All right. Call in.
I'll
Let's set it
call
a
in.
fire.
I got you. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call back. I'm driving, but I'm gonna call you back. I just got off work, but yeah, I'm gonna call.
All right. Call me back.
All right.
All right, there's Brother Debo Teller. Some of you may know him, and some of you may not know him, but he's a great Masonic brother of mine. So, how many PHA organizations did John G. Jones help to form? How many irregular organizations after 1903? Check that out. Now let's see what they're gonna say. He was a chartered member of the High Priest uh, Eureka, chapter number 3, Holy Royal Archmasons, 1878. Chartered member. It says he was also he was also a formal, most excellent high priest. Okay, former most excellent high priest of the Grand Chapter of the Holy Royal Arch, 1880. He also was the commander-in-chief of Prince Hall Consistory and rose to the ranks of the Sovereign Grand Commander of the Supreme Council for the Southern and Western Masonic Jurisdiction, 1895. Somebody explain that to me. I need you to explain that to me. If you are a Prince Hall brother and you are a historian of the Prince Hall legacy, explain to me this part where it says he was a former high priest of the Grand Chapter of the Holy Royal Arch under PHA, Supreme Council, I guess. Okay? Then it goes on to say he was the commander-in-chief of the consistory and rose to the ranks of the Sovereign Grand Commander of the Supreme Council of the Southern and Western Masonic Jurisdiction, 1895. Explain that. And then it goes on to say, but, but he also caused a scrimmage in the Southern jurisdiction. How can you cause a scrimmage or a split or whatever you want to call it in the Southern jurisdiction when it clearly says that he was the most puissant sovereign grand commander for the Southern and Western Masonic jurisdiction, 1895? Okay? The same year, he was the first black Shriner in 1893. After being expelled in 1903, he became the father of clandestine Mason. That's some bullshit. I'm calling it what it is. Talk back to me right now. You can call into the show. Brother Tebow is not going to call in right now. He got something to do. But if you want to call into the show tonight, and you're a Prince Hall Mason who knows the history of Prince Hall, call me tonight. Okay, that number is 619-286-0642. Oh yeah, we gonna get down tonight, y'all. Oh, it's about to get down. It's been steep on. Too much on the product. Refrain from the okay. What I know I'm loving. Okay, all right. I come from knowledge, okay? Everyone needs a hero. I thought we follow God, but what do you mean you thought we follow God? Come on, talk to me. New Era King, you thought we follow God, but call into the show, bruh. I want to know what the but is. Good evening, Brother Hawkins, Grandmaster. Oh, no. I'm late tonight. First Lady A, I'm late tonight. Welcome aboard, First Lady A. I appreciate you tuning in tonight. You know what? You need to inbox me because I know you want me to probably talk about someone on the Eastern Star level, and I'm all for it. Since I can't hear him because of the audio, what do you mean? Let me see if I need to turn this up. Oh, my media is turned up. I don't know why you can't hear me because of the audio, but you said you can't hear me because of the audio. Let me ask you, have you ever heard of Okay, Alex Fitzgerald? Yes, I'm kind of familiar with it. I'm not saying I know everything about it, just a little bit. He is using a ladder. Grandmaster Albert and I. Okay, surely the argument doesn't hold up to the seven. Scottish Rite is the father of clandestine Mason. What is Scottish Rite? How can you say Scottish Rite is the father of clandestine Mason? Unless you have been initiated into the Scottish Rite degrees, it has nothing to do with the blue. Brothers, let me say this. Just because somebody says that they're ancient, free, and accepted Mason has nothing to do with the Scottish Rite. Okay? If you say that you're ancient, free, and accepted Mason, that's just the letters, or that is what your Grand Lodge is going by. That is the lineage. That is your connection. That's your thing. That's what you choose to accept for your Grand Lodge. If you're on that ancient, free, and accepted Mason tag, if that's what you claim that you're running on, it has nothing to do with the Scottish Rite, gentlemen and ladies. This is for everybody. It has nothing to do with that. Unless you have been initiated into the Scottish Rite degrees, you can talk about it. But if you have not, you what? So I'm ancient, free, and accepted Mason. That doesn't make me Scottish Rite. Come on, guys. Lighten up, man. Once they expose the conference of degrees in the home by mail. Brother, can you speak on when PHA took John G. Jones to court? They never took John G. Jones to court. I think in 19, Prince Hall never took John G. Jones to court. Let's have an understanding. However, there was a court decision in 1905, 1906, something like that, where the Grand Lodge of Washington, D.C., Prince Hall, versus the Grand Lodge of Washington, D.C., Ancient, Free, and Accepted Mason. They did go to court. Now, Prince Hall won when they first went to court during that time. But upon the appeal, they lost because the Ancient, Free, and Accepted Masons did not infringe upon the rights of Prince Hall. They did not infringe upon their rights. So the judge sought that say, hey, they're not trying to infringe upon your rights. They have every right to practice and to be Masons. That's what that whole court thing was about. So yeah, they took him to court, and that was during the time of C.H. Brother Scott, C.L. Mitchell, all those guys was around that time. So they went to court and they fought it. They lost the first one, and then they won on the appeal. And that was the end of that. Yeah, brother, we share an experience, not an opinion. Okay, it bothers me that we as black Masons can't get on the same page for unity. Lord knows we don't need no more redwood. Greetings, brothers. Just getting home from work tonight. Well, Brother Mac, you are absolutely right. But it doesn't surprise me. See, here's the thing. What doesn't surprise me is the mere fact we should be able to have a difference of opinion, okay, without having a fallout. As Masons, black Masons, we should be able to have a difference of opinion without having a fallout. If you get mad at your brother and you don't want to be around him because he did X, Y, and Z, I can understand that, but it's a difference of opinion. You shouldn't have to just degrade him for over 100 and some years. Just my opinion. But we all rocking and rolling right now. Let me tell you about that. We all rocking and rolling. healing is necessary. Hurt people hurt people. Look, let's be upfront, brothers of the craft and sisters of the order. If you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you back. That's what we've always done. The mere fact that we can't say, look, I disagree with you, but brother, I still love you. Why can't we say that? You know why? Because there are people on both sides. Damn, I sound like Donald Trump. Oh, that didn't sound good. That didn't sound good. Whew, that didn't sound good. Yeah, that sounded like Donald Trump. Oh, people on both sides. No. Ooh, let me rewind that. That didn't sound quite right, you know. I'm talking to us. All right. I do what most brothers don't want to do. See, I will tell you this. Those other Facebook, YouTube channels, that shit is scripted. This right here, this is interrupted. I take phone calls. We do it all. That's the uniqueness of this show. So if you're a PHA, PHO, International, Modern Free, Ancient Free, you can call in. If you mainstream, you can call in. We can have the conversation. The fact of the matter is most brothers don't want to call in. But you inbox me. And it's not to say that I won't respond to your inbox. It's clearly say that you're being bullied. Most brothers who are PHA, you get bullied. That's why you won't call. I know you get bullied, okay? And it's all cool because I'm going to tell you, if you call me and you're in San Diego, California or LA, and you call me and I can get to you to help you, that's how I do it. That's how I was taught to do it by my grandmaster in this jurisdiction. That's how we get down, period. So let's see what else they got here. How many PHA organizations did John G. Jones help to form? How many irregular organizations after 1903 did John G. Jones help to organize and form? Okay, so it says he was a chartered high priest of Eureka chapter number 3. So he helped to organize the Royal Arch for Prince Hall, PHA, 1878. But mind you, 1895, he's the most puissant sovereign grand commander for a whole nother Supreme Council. Then it goes on to say, he was a former most excellent high priest, okay, 1880. He was the commander-in-chief of Prince Hall Consistory, and he rose through the ranks. Then it goes on to say that he was elected to the most puissant sovereign grand commander, as I've said again, in 1895. But he also caused a scrimmage in the southern jurisdiction. Okay? And it says the same year he was the first black Shriner in 1893. After being expelled in 1903, he became the father of clandestine Masons, but he's the father of black Masons to me, ancient, free, and accepted. He established an irregular Grand Lodge in Illinois, and he established an irregular Grand Lodge or 2 in Illinois, and nationally promoted clandestine activity. He is active, served as the basis for similar activity in other states. Let me tell you this. I'm going to give you some more information. It says, Right Wishful Brother John G. Jones. Now, this is what they called him in this newsletter. Right Wishful Brother John G. Jones. Member of John Jones Lodge number 7 in Chicago. Grand Secretary of Most Wishful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Illinois, 1873 to 1875. Wishful Master John Jones Lodge, 1875. Deputy Grand Master, the Most Wishful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Illinois, 1875 to 1876. He chartered. Now, look, if you charter something, all right, that means that you have the knowledge and wisdom to set it up. So it says he chartered High Priest Eureka chapter number 3. Holy Royal Lodge in 1880. 8 blacks admitted He was the 8th black man to be admitted to the Illinois bar in 1884. He was suspended from the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Illinois in 1887, reinstated in 1887 at their grand session. He was the founder of the Shriners in 1893. He served as commander of the Supreme Council of the Southern and Western Masonic Jurisdiction in 1895. So you guys say you recognize that Supreme Council? Is that what you're saying in this article? Because you sure put it in there. So you must have recognized the mere fact that he was the most puissant sovereign grand commander. I'm just saying. Illinois state representative from 1900 to 1902. Then it says he was expelled in February in 1903. But you reorganized the Shriners in 1900. You incorporated the Shriners in 1901. Somebody needs to talk back to me as soon as you can, because this stuff just ain't right. I'm just tired of it. Now, this is the article from the Prince Hall newsletter. And it's from, let me see. I'm going all the way back to the top. This article is from 2012. I need to get you the exact date real quick. Okay, this is the fall letter of Prince Hall Mason Masonic Journal. 145 years, the official publication of the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Illinois, fall 2012. This is what they said about John G. Jones at that time. They only gave him the name Father of the Clandestine Masons after they so-called suspended him in 1903. But I would tell you this, from reading that article and from the information that I have personally, John G. Jones, when he became the most puissant sovereign grand commander for the Southern and Western Masonic jurisdiction, he was no longer a part of a Prince Hall Grand Lodge, period. That's a fact, because you can't be in two jurisdictions holding two active membership. One membership has to be honorary, and one membership has to be active. You don't think so? Okay. So if I hold dual membership in two different Supreme Councils, okay? I do. And I'm not what you call an active voting member in my honorary Supreme Council. Okay. I'm a member of visitation purposes. All right? That's what I'm a member of. I have the patent that they gave me. I have a dues card, but I can't vote. So how is it that you can be the most puissant sovereign grand commander of another jurisdiction, right? And brothers come up under you and all of that. Hold on. Hello.
What's up, bro? Tony Hawkins. Peace and greetings to the East, man.
Oh, peace and greetings there, Freemason Unlocked. Talk back to me right now, man, because I'm on one. My Elu. Come on, talk to me.
Yeah, I like your show, bro. It's very good episode what you're talking about, bro. It's cool.
Well, what I'm trying to convey, and I really I don't like doing it, but brothers be inboxing me. They just inbox me. And I'm cool with that. I just want to get all of this out so people, if they want to go back and hear what I said, I'm bringing you this from a Prince Hall perspective. It is not my perspective at all. You know. So when they talk about John G. Jones, there were 4 John G. Joneses in that Grand Lodge. And brother, they ran the ship.
Right. We have to remember, though, that as far as Masonic organizations are concerned, like with, the Prince Hall organization or Prince Hall affiliation, that in Masonic organizations in general, if you break your obligation to that organization, you're going to be considered basically an expelled Mason, right?
Right. I can agree with that.
Right. So in the day and age in which Brother John D. Jones lived, there's a fine line between
Uh-huh.
So once he was expelled, it's like the PHA Masons, they're bound by their organizational obligations, to not recognize him or anything that he is.
I got that, and I can actually agree with that. Hear me
Right,
clearly.
so,
Hear me
right,
clearly.
so we,
I can agree with
yeah,
that.
uh-huh,
Go ahead.
right, so we have to keep that in mind and, understand their perspective on it.
Mm-hmm.
And, but by the same token, there are some of them who are open-minded enough to realize at the same time that Brother John D. Jones, he did his own thing. So, outside of Masonic organizational jurisdictions and all of that stuff, John D. Jones was a Mason. I wouldn't say he wasn't. He was. He just broke away, man. He did what he did. He did his own thing. And he has his own legacy of Freemasonry, beyond what it was that he was doing with Prince Hall Masonry. So.
Oh, absolutely. I can only agree with you on that part, and
Right.
I will agree with you on the other part where you say that if a Mason is expelled or suspended or whatever the case may be from that jurisdiction, he's no longer bound to them.
Right. I personally would never say he's not a Mason. It's like somebody said on the comments. Who was it that said this? Our brother New Eric King, Kang, Kang instead of King.
Mm-hmm.
He said, what was it that he said about brother John G. Jones? He said that he was a good man outside of Masonry. So we have to also apply that to that model that Masonry makes good men better. So can we really divide the concept of being a good man from being a good Mason? Is there really a division?
It's
I don't
not.
know if you follow my meaning.
It's not, because let me in my from the factual point of view, if I serve as a lawyer my community,
Right.
and I'm a Mason, I
Right.
am considered a good man, right? If I help slaves to escape to freedom through the Underground Railroad, isn't that being a great man in Mason? Because you can say whatever, you can't separate that.
I agree. That's the point that I'm making.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that we have to keep that in mind and not get tripped up on the jurisdictional aspect, because with the European Masons in England, you see that they easily rectify their differences, even though it took some decades.
And that's the problem that I have, brother, is why can't we actually come to the table and say, you know what? This is not even complicated. I know we have
Right.
our differences, but let's break it down this way. The easiest way we're going to do this here. No, we don't see eye to eye as far as Mason's concerned. However, as a Mason in your jurisdiction, you're recognized. Clearly, that's a fact. As a Mason in your jurisdiction, you're clearly recognized. That's a fact. We may not have that Masonic tie, but we have a tie that's stronger than that. The mere fact that we are in America, KKK, say what you want to say, I'm just pointing it out.
Right.
We have a common enemy. We're in the same damn boat. Excuse my language. We are. And for us to be going back and forth over something that's over 100 years old, or for us to even be like, you know what, I can't talk to you because you're not in my jurisdiction. Brother, let me tell you this here. When the shit hit the fan, and it will hit the fan, all of that 4-letter, 3-letter thing, that modern, international thing, universal thing, that's going to go out the window.
Oh,
Trust me.
Did you see the article? I don't know if you saw the article that I sent you on the grand hailing sign of distress. But I sent you an article, right?
Mm-hmm.
That most of the individuals commenting, it was like an article stream. That's what it really was. And the subject was the grand hailing sign of distress, but you'll see it on the WhatsApp if you check your WhatsApp messages.
Okay.
And the subject was a Freemason posted the question that if I see the grand hailing sign of distress, would I ask an individual who's showing the sign what his jurisdiction is, or would I respond to it according to my obligation? So the vast majority of the individuals who commented on the stream were mainstream Masons, and 99% of them stated that I'm going to ask about the jurisdictional issues later. But for the time being, when I see the sign, I'm going to respond to that sign.
Absolutely. I
was taught that
I would speak for myself and agree. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to run to the rescue of my brother if I see the sign being shown. Jurisdictional matters can come later.
Well, you know what? As a matter of fact...
Now, check this out.
Go ahead.
Furthermore, they were stating that, in essence, the majority of individuals who commented on the question, they said, what kind of Mason would I be? What kind of man would I be as a Mason if I tried to question this individual about their jurisdiction before I ran to their rescue? Like, what kind of man would I be? No, I'm going to come rescue you. Then later on, we can talk about that. And, if I feel that our jurisdictions are not an amity, then so be it. We part ways as far as that aspect, but it's just that deep.
But see,
check it out though. Check the article out that I sent.
Oh, I pulled it up. I just pulled it up on my phone. But see, here's the important part. In everything you've said, brother, the most important part is what you said is that if I seen a brother do the grand distress sign, that it's not about your jurisdiction when you do that. I see a brother in need. My obligation has already broken down. What do I do when I see that? It doesn't, look, the other evening when I pulled out all those Masonic rituals, none of those rituals and their obligations stated anything in contrary in regards to when you see the sign, do you walk up and ask your brother what jurisdiction he's a part of? It doesn't say none of that in any of them. I had, I think, about 6 different rituals. Okay? The important part is, from what I read and what's written, is the mere fact that you said, here's what you would do. Okay? Now, granted, some Grand Lodges may add the mere fact that you would abide by all the rules and regulations of this Grand Lodge, which is fine. But you know what supersedes that is the mere fact that if you saw a brother in distress, if you saw a brother in harm's way, that supersedes everything else. Because that's a brother in distress. That's a brother in need. I'm going to whisper good counsel in his ear. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah, so, but tonight's episode was pretty good as far as a lot of the history about Brother John G. Jones. Some stuff I didn't know. I learned some stuff.
Okay, so New Era King says there are obligations you have to uphold as a Mason that doesn't apply to every man. That's true, but it applies to every Mason. That's the difference, Brother King. The mere fact that your obligation doesn't apply to every man, but it applies to every Mason. That's the
Right.
beauty of Freemasonry. That's the uniqueness of this great organization. People can say whatever they want to say. See, it is only a few people in Freemasonry, okay, that likes to cause a lot of hell. But I will tell you, my personal experience in dealing with people face to face, up front, who are Masons, is a beautiful thing. It's only on Facebook and YouTube and texting and tweeting and that I deal with those people who are like just way over somewhere else. I can't talk to you, you're client, and them type of people. But let me tell you this here. There were two Masons, one black, one white, in the hospital room, okay, where I work. All right. Here's the funny thing. I walk into the room. I know one of them. Okay. This black Mason was in a different jurisdiction than my own, but I knew him. I said, "Greetings, brother. How you doing?" "Hey, brother Hawkins, how you doing, man?" I said, "Why are you in the hospital?" "Well, man," he go on. He explains everything to me. This white Mason, which was a part of the Grand Lodge of California, okay, he was in I want to say Black Mountain Lodge. I want to say Black Mountain. But he was, and you know what he did? He pulled the curtains back. He says, "I have brothers in the room." Mind you, he didn't say anything other than "I have brothers in the room." He pulled the curtain back. There are two black men who are talking about Masons. He fell right in the he fell right in the conversation. "Hey, brothers, how y'all doing?" This man didn't bring up nothing about no damn jurisdiction. He didn't bring up nothing about, "Well, I can't talk to you, brothers, because you're." He didn't bring up any of that. He says, "I have brothers in the room. How you doing, brother? What lodge you in?" "I'm in Hosea Lodge number 7. "What lodge?" "I'm in Malachi Lodge number this." And, "Oh, brothers, I didn't know you was." No, how do you know him? That was the conversation. That's all I try to convey. Is that this thing we call Freemasonry, Brother Unlock, is bigger than where we at. But it seems to me that some brothers can't grab that. They don't have the balls enough to grab it. Their foreskin hadn't been cut. Oh, shit.
He's learning. Like I was telling some brothers that
Hey,
I deal with on a regular basis.
I got a
right?
Coca-Cola right here in that box, bro. I need a Coca-Cola. Shit. Man.
So,
Look, bro. We've been on here 1:30. All right. I know that Brother Debo Teller is on the way home tonight, and he's saying that he wants to call in. He has my personal phone number, and but Brother Freemason Unlocked. When I come to New York, what part of New York you in?
I'm in the Bronx right now.
You in the Bronx.
But I'm all over New York.
Now let me tell you this here. Now this is what I was told. They said you may get fooled if you come from out of town, cause I'm down by law and I know my way around. Now that's what I heard in a rap song. Now don't push me cause I'm close to the edge. Now I'm just saying.
Plus you good, like I said, like the Bronx, the
Yeah.
majority of the Bronx,
Uh-huh.
there are no Prince Hall lodges in the Bronx.
Really?
None. No, there's not. There's one in White Plains, but not in the Bronx.
Hold on.
Everything in the Bronx is ancient frame except the Mason.
Woo! Everything in the Bronx is ancient.
Except, let me clarify. Let me back that up. You also have a Bronx Masonic district for the mainstream, and they have about 4 lodges.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
City Island, but there were no Prince Hall lodges in the Bronx at all.
Well, y'all heard that. There are no Prince Hall lodges in the Bronx. But
There's
I'm
not. Check your list of lodges book. There's not.
gonna say this. I'm gonna say this to Alexander Fitzgerald. The number to call in, brother, is 619-286-0642. Let me know if you're gonna call in. But brother,
real quick, before I break out, let me just share this.
no, you ain't going nowhere yet.
Share this.
You can go ahead. You ain't going nowhere yet. Talk to me.
All right, cool. I was telling some of the brothers that I build with at a Prince Hall, right? I have a friend who he hails from Hope Lodge number 145 under the Grand Lodge of Louisiana, right? So he's a Caucasian, right? Now he moved to New York a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's an old man. He's old, like about 73 years old now.
Right.
So he was telling me, like me and him talk on a regular basis, and he said, "Look, man."
Go fix me a plate. Fix you.
He said, "Look."
Hell yeah, I want to play. You had a plate?
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, bro. I hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm talking to my grandmaster. Go ahead.
Okay. He said before I came to New York City, before he moved out to New York City, he was telling me that where he's from in Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana, he's like, bro, we don't accept blacks as Freemasons out there.
Wow.
He's like, I'm keeping it real. He's been a Freemason for about 40 years now. He's like, over there, he's like, my whole Masonic career in Louisiana, he's like, nope. If you black, nah, we're not recognizing you as a Mason, man, because you're not freeborn. Like, you're not from a freeborn stock. This is what he's telling me. He's like, but once I fell on hard times, this is interesting. He's like, I fell on hard times and I came out to New York City to start my life again. He said, so what I did was I started networking through the Masonic lodges in New York City. He's like, so some of the first lodges that he was coming in contact with were Prince Hall lodges. And in Washington, he was in Washington, D.C. also before he came into New York. And in Washington, D.C., he was telling me how he was coming into contact with Black Ancient Friend Accepted Mason lodges. So he said once I started receiving relief, in these Black Masonic lodges in Washington, D.C., Black Ancient Friend Accepted Masons, that's the Grand Lodge of Washington, D.C. And in New York, the Prince Hall lodges, he was like that, how that changed his whole perspective on things. And he was telling me how when he had visited some lodges under the Grand Lodge of New York, the state Grand Lodge, that he found those brothers to be kind of weird because he was like how, when he has a dues card and everything like that, but he was like when he was trying them, they were like, no, brother, we only do those things inside of the lodge room. We don't.
Oh, wow.
We don't. We don't really use catechism or none of that stuff outside the lodge. But anyway, it changed his whole perspective. So while he was in New York City, like I always looked out for him and stuff like that. But he was like just coming to the East Coast. That changed his whole perspective as far as like, his upbringing in Louisiana, where he's telling me, he's like, bro, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. He's like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. He's like, in Louisiana, if you're black, you ain't a Mason, bro.
Wow.
Check it. He's like, you cannot be a Mason. He's like, he's like, that's how I grew up. That a black man cannot be a Mason. I don't care, Prince Hall, nothing. Cannot be one.
Well,
you know what I mean? So.
No, go ahead and finish up real quick.
Yeah, so the point that I'm making is that you have to experience certain things in life, man. And to certain situations in life are going to bring you to a level where you understand the common situation of all humans, you heard? You could be rich one day, you could be poor one day, bro. Well, you could be rich one day, you could be poor the next day, bro. And Freemasonry teaches us these kind of things. So
But how many of us abide by those things?
No.
Right.
Hey, so look, I got brother Debo Teller on the line along with Freemason Unlocked. So I got two of you guys on the line tonight. So welcome aboard. I know you was trying to call in. I know you hit me up. I'm trying to call in, bruh. So talk to me, brother Teller. Talk to me.
Ah, man. So, what's this conversation about?
Oh, my conversation is about them damn documents that you got.
Well, first of all, let me greet everybody. How's everybody doing this evening? Brother Unlock, how you doing?
I'm good, big brother. Peace, man. Peace and greetings to the east.
Always. So, yeah, man. I was just
Everything?
just got into the crib.
Throw it in the microwave. Give me about a minute and a half. Go ahead. Talk to me, Debo.
Yeah, you mentioned some of the paperwork that I got, some of the documents that I got.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about the
Yeah,
documents
man,
that you got.
Just the research, bro. Just the digging.
Oh, bro.
Just
Now,
the research and the digging.
look, I seen the original charter that you put up for, I think that's Palestine Lodge, Temple, Palestine Temple. I seen the original charter for that. My question is this: how can you be the most puissant commander elected to that position in 1895, but yet be a member of a whole nother jurisdiction? Explain that.
Well, bro, the truth is, and this is from my perspective.
No, tell me what you read. I want to know what you read.
Well, it's so much, bro. I mean, we gotta keep in mind that things were said from both sides of the fence, on both sides of the fence.
I agree. I said that.
In order to understand that, we gotta go back a little bit.
Right.
Okay, let's look at the election.
Okay.
Election of 1805. Now, I'm no way
Now,
former expert.
Hold on. I'm gonna share this with you. The Illinois Grand Lodge said that John G. Jones was the most puissant sovereign grand commander elected in 1895 to that position. They said that.
I actually have the publication.
Okay, I'm just saying now. They said he was elected.
I put that publication up in once before, and some say, well, they just put that in there because just honoring him as the individual. My thing is, if you don't honor him or recognize him as being a Mason, then why would you put that as an accomplishment of him being the sovereign grand commander that you say he lost the election? Now,
Right.
here's what the crazy thing comes in. They say that how could he have been elected sovereign grand commander and at the same time elected as the imperial potentate? They try to make it seem like it was two different times. That it was two different places at two different times. No, it wasn't. According to their own minutes, it says up till 1906, the Supreme Council and the Imperial Council always met together.
Yep.
At the same time. So that would answer how he was elected as the sovereign grand commander and the imperial potentate.
Right.
Because it was held at the same time. Usually they close one and they open the other, according to what I understand. Now, Jackson, I have a document that says that this is weird. This actually says that Thornton Jackson couldn't read or write.
Well, talk back to me. Somebody talk back to me right now.
It actually says that he couldn't read or write. This is not my words, and I'm gonna tell you where you can go find it.
Okay.
And those that are listening, it's the, I think it was the 1864 or 1863, something like that. But it was actually a census report. And that's That's a United States Census report.
Right.
Now, here's a question that I asked.
Right.
I asked this question, and I haven't seen it yet. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But the question about that is, how? Can Thornton Jackson was the most Pusa Grand Commander. Let's
Right.
just say that.
Yeah, he was.
Has anybody ever seen a document with his signature on it?
Ooh. Ooh.
Now, I'm going back to the census report where it said he couldn't read or write. Now, we know he was a barber. You don't have to know how to read or write to be a barber.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's just me putting two and two together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I could be wrong on it. I may not be wrong, but according to that U.S. Census report, it states that he could not read nor write.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Right, so that, hold up. So that's a challenge to the Prince Hall think tank. Produce
He said that's a challenge to the Prince Hall think
with
tank.
any writings or signatures from Brother Thornton E. Jackson are present.
Ooh. Ooh.
Well, the question is, they say he wrote the Bible. Let me take you back one time. I had a conversation with a brother one time. He called me on the phone, and we were just talking. Basically, we were just having a good conversation. So the brother says to me, brother, you need to heal over. You need to do this. You need to do that. I mean, you could be a great asset. So I asked him. So we get into the conversation about the ritual. Get the conversation about the ritual, Scottish Rite ritual.
Mm-hmm.
He says that Albert Pike gave Thornton Jackson a ritual.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what they say.
Okay. So what year was this that he gave them the ritual? Well, the brother told me. Now, I don't know for sure if he did or he didn't. I'm only going by what this brother told me. The brother said it was 1891 or something like that he gave him the ritual.
Right.
I'm kind of confused about that because I thought Pike died in like 1890 or something like that. But anyway, to make a long story short, wasn't there a Scottish Rite body way before then?
I think it's 1801.
Okay, no, I'm talking about. He's talking about
Prince Hall.
South Carolina. I'm not talking about them.
Oh.
I'm talking about as far as amongst the African Americans.
Yes,
at that time.
there
was.
was.
They was practicing Scottish Rite way
Absolutely.
back then, right?
Absolutely.
So my question to him was, if Pike gave Jackson a ritual, then what ritual was they using back then?
Oh yeah, hold up, real quick. On the Prince Hall think tank, they were saying that Brother Thornton Jackson was Brother Albert Pike's barber, right? That he used to cut Brother Albert Pike's hair.
Now let me interject on that right there. Look at the era of time that we're talking about. You think about this, and does this not make sense to you? What European man is going to sit in a barber's chair and allow a black man to cut his hair and use the same clippers or whatever he's using that he was using on the hair of a Negro when this man...
Oh my God. Y'all killing me. You're killing me right now with that one, Brother Debo. I ain't even look at that.
But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Not only with clippers, but with a razor to his
I'm not
mouth,
saying it's not possible. It could very well be possible. But
check it out, though, Brother Debo. We do know this. Brother Albert Pike, he was commissioned to rewrite the Scottish Rite rituals for the Southern jurisdiction by Albert Mackey, because Albert Mackey was the first Supreme Grand Commander of the Southern jurisdiction. Brother Albert Pike succeeded him. So all that Brother Albert Pike did was
wait a minute, hold on.
rewrite.
He was the first sovereign grand
I have the original Scottish Rite rituals in my possession, the original ones from 1801. I have them in my possession. All that Albert Pike did was rewrite them because they were pretty sloppy. So what they're saying is that Brother Albert Pike gave his version of the rewritten or revised Scottish Rite rituals of the Southern jurisdiction to Brother Thornton Jackson.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, like I said, it could be, it may not be. I don't know. But according to my understanding and my research, now I'm just thinking about the era of time that it was. You know,
You like
they
that?
give so much credit to the others. Now, I don't have anything against the Prince Hall Mason at all. You know, I don't have anything against the Prince Hall Mason at all.
You sound pretty racist when you say that, brother.
Huh?
When you say you don't have anything against the Prince Hall Mason at all, it sounds like you say I got a black friend.
Okay, Trump.
No, but
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
Brother Albert Pike too, man.
I mean, on a serious note, though, you know,
Okay.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with them at all. You know, all my uncles are Prince Hall Masons, were Prince Hall Masons. My grandfather passed. My grandfather was a Prince Hall Mason for like 60-something years. You know, I have nothing at all against him. My only problem is when a man attacks you, you have that right to defend yourself. And
Absolutely.
if that man gets hurt in the process, of you defending yourself, then so be it.
Uh-huh.
I hate to see people get bullied. I really hate to see people get bullied.
Mm-hmm.
And a man's choice is a man's choice. Because you don't respect that, don't mean that it's not the right thing for him.
Right?
You know what I mean? Every man has his own choice and decision to make about his life.
Mm-hmm.
You're a clandestine Mason, you're a bogus Mason, you whatever, you know. We gotta get past that. You know what I mean? We gotta get past that. And I'm not worried about the acceptance of anybody to accept me or not, because I can stand on my own too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I understand what these lectures and these lessons are all about. First
Right.
of all, we gotta live this. This is just not something that we talk about. This is not something that
Everybody ain't ready to live it though, bruh.
Well,
Everybody
they
ain't
will
ready to
never-
live it. I need
But
some
they
more.
will never understand.
Bro,
They
can I
will
have
never
some Mason?
understand that, as some would say, the esoterics, as some would say, of the point within the middle of the circle.
Right?
You know what I mean? The question is, it says, what were you first prepared to be made a Mason? You know what I mean? And that answer, you know what the answer is. We all know what the answer is. That tells you, let's look at this. The seat.
In my heart, let's just say it though. So
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So you're doing this from the inside out. This is how masonry is supposed to be lived, from the inside out, not from the outside in. It's from the inside out.
Good point.
You know what I mean? So we gotta
That's
walk
it.
that walk daily. I can't say to another man,
Mm-hmm.
your curtains in your living room should be green because the curtains in my living room are green.
Right.
You know, what we gotta understand is that every Grand Lodge is a sovereign Grand Lodge, right? Every
Uh-huh.
Grand Lodge is sovereign, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that means that Grand Lodge has a constitution and a set of bylaws, constitution and bylaws, right?
Mm-hmm.
The constitution and bylaws of that Grand Lodge is the law in that Grand Lodge or in that body.
Absolutely. Hold on, just a second. I'm gonna say this because I was reading the comments, and the brother said, this is what one of the brothers said. He said that I did not realize, or we don't realize, that a brother must uphold his obligation. That is the essence of Freemasonry. I'm totally in agreement with you. What I'm saying is
First of
this.
all-
Go ahead.
First of all, you gotta differentiate. You know, you gotta understand what is your obligation.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? What is your obligation, and what are you obligated to? You are obligated to the oath that you took.
Well, see, people get the obligation and the oath mixed up.
But they don't realize that's why it says oath and obligation.
Right?
It's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some say, well, you obligate yourself to the lodge, you obligate yourself to the brother. No, when you take that oath, you made a promise. It was a promise that you made between you and the God whom you serve. What you would do, what you wouldn't do, and what you would strive to do.
Right.
You did that in the presence of your brothers as witnesses, because we know that you're raised on a certain thing. And at that fifth point, that brothers whisper wise words of counsel in your ear to keep you on your square.
Uh-huh.
If he sees you erring, if he sees you falling off, you're supposed to whisper those words in your ear. But what happens with some, yeah, they whispering words in your ear, but at the same time they sticking a knife in your back.
Ooh. That's dangerous. That's dangerous.
This, I remember back in the day watching my uncles and my grandfather. Back then, that's all I wanted to do was be like my uncles and my grandfather. I didn't know what they were doing. All I know, every so often I would see them in their suits and their briefcases, and they always was in a group. It was always in a crew.
Right.
Somebody said something about have their oath, the word strict examination. Of course, it's a strict examination, but do you understand what that strict examination is? You don't do that on the street. You do that in a lodge.
Absolutely.
If I grip a brother and a brother grip me, I already know who he is. I don't have to say no more.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't receive that person as a brother, and he grip me up, hey, it is what it is. We're out in a public, in a profane world. Now let's look at this. You standing in the grocery store, you're in a line in Walmart, and you turn around and you have somebody that's standing beside you or behind you, and you turn around and you say, "Hey, I'm a grand master."
Mm-hmm.
They look at you like you crazy and ask you, "What you know kung fu?" They have no idea what a grandmaster is.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. I'm just saying. Okay.
You know, we use these terms. We use these terms that are only applicable inside of the lodge, but the lodge is the world.
Right.
This is where our real work begins. When we step outside of that building where we do our work in, the lodge is the world.
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading somewhere, it says, I think it was Jesus asked one of his disciples, he said, "How will you be tried?" He said, "By the square." Why by the square? Square is emblematic to the world, right?
Wait. Back that up. You said Jesus said what?
He said to his disciple, he asked one of his disciples, how will you be tried?
Jesus asked his disciple. Wait. Jesus asked his disciple that?
Yeah.
What scripture is that?
Right off the top of my head, I can't tell you, but let me grab my Bible and I'll find it.
Bro, you need to grab your Bible because I ain't heard of that one when Jesus asked somebody how will you be tried.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
now,
sir.
I did read where Jesus said, "Who do they say I am?"
Right.
But as far as how will you be tried.
Said Shiloh, that's where he said something about Shiloh come again?
No, that's where it says, they say that you are Elijah. Some say you're John the Baptist. You know, so I got that part, but I never read where they said, how will you be tried? I mean, help me, brother.
Hold on. Let me grab my Bible.
Oh, find that one.
Look, another point that I want to add to that is,
go ahead, brother-in-law.
When you're out in the world, like I've been tried by Freemasons outside of the lodge, in the real world, by police masons and all of that, bro. And I'll give you an example. I was tried by a police officer that's a Freemason one time. And he told his co-workers, "Listen, step to the side." They stepped to the side. He asked me, "You ready to be tried?" As being a Mason, I'm like, "I've been tried, never denied, and I'm ready to be tried again and again."
Oh, you need to stop. You're making me jealous. Stop. Go ahead.
We went through the grip and everything.
Ooh.
Because at the end of the day, bro, you can't just accept you can't accept individuals in the outside world, bro, that wear a Masonic ring, bro.
That's true, but this is what we get. like a lot of people are asking, what are they talking about tonight? You know, what's the show is about tonight? Well, the show is about John G. Jones. You know, I'm gonna tell you exactly what the show is about tonight. So the show is about John G. Jones, and let's see. I'm gonna go back because I want to make sure I say this right. I don't want to mess my own show up. So let me go back up here. You know.
No, it was about the zeal, something to the effect of the zeal of Brother John G. Jones.
Yeah, the zeal, but I said something else. I think I said the determination.
Right.
See, the determination of John G. Jones. See, you know, a lot of brothers, and I've heard it, and I got you. I listen. I do. They said, Brother Hawkins, why you always talking about Prince Hall John G. Jones? Because I get a lot of kickback on that. I do. Brother, I don't understand this. Brother, I don't understand that. I get this in my e-box, in my inbox. So what I try to do is to bring it out, and I want to leave it. I don't like talking about this all the time. The show was supposed to be about 666, to be exact. And I was going to break that down. But
6 neurons, 6 protons,
6 neutrons.
and 6 neutrons.
whatever. I can't.
Yeah.
Neutron, yeah.
6, yeah, and it all adds up to melon. And we was going to get into that. But however, that's going to have to be the next show. But tonight, we're talking about the determination of John G. Jones. What made him so successful is the mere fact that he never gave up. What made him so successful is the fact that he said, I'm throwing everything against the wall. I'm moving forward. Now, do I agree with everything that I've read about, that I know about in regards to John G. Jones? No, of course not. But I do agree with this, that he had every right to move on after his Masonic career was done with PHA. He had every right to move on. I have brothers in my own jurisdiction who have left my jurisdiction or the jurisdiction for which I'm part of and go join PHA. They had every right to do it. I've had brothers from PHA to come and join this jurisdiction. So, you know what? It is what it is. But I'm not going to cut a brother up. I'm not going to cut him down. I'm not going to beat him up. Period.
Let me ask you this though. Why can't PHA, certain grand lodges of PHA just heal the difference and
they're not going to do it.
establish amity with a John G. Jones Grand Lodge in their state.
Brother,
The state Grand Lodges did it with them, even though the state Grand Lodges considered them clandestine for so long. Like, why can't that be done since
because they feel, brother,
not alive to speak for himself?
Okay. From my own
I think
experience,
it's just too much bad blood.
from my own experience of sitting at the table, actually sitting at the table with the Grandmaster from PHA, the Grandmaster from other jurisdictions, we all at the table together. The reason it won't happen is because in California, I'm talking about California. I can't talk about nobody else. I'm just talking about California. The reason it won't happen here in California is because the brothers, I can't say all of them. I'm just going to say the system of PHA feel that they are above where the other Grand Lodges are. I will put it that way. The system.
Hold on, bro.
Go ahead.
Let me. I'm just looking at Alex Fitzgerald. He says, does AF and AM consider any group of Masons as clandestine? If so, who?
Well,
I don't consider nobody clandestine. They're just not recognized by my grand body.
well, I'm going to add this to that, and you're right. I'm going to add this to, if there's a lodge, a single lodge that is functioning without a Grand Lodge, I would consider them clandestine because the Grand Lodge monitors what their lodges do. That's from this Grand Lodge point of view. I have my Grand Master sitting right over here next to my right, and he can say, "No, Brother Hawkins,
Let me
right."
ask the brother a question real quick. I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to ask him a question real quick. So, Alex, this goes to you, Alex Fitzgerald. Question: if you and I were together and we go to Georgia, to Grand Lodge of Georgia, not only are they not going to let me in, they're not going to let you in either. So what does that say about you? Because you can't get in the lodge. Does that say that you're clandestine?
Well, I'm going to say this here. I'm going to add to that. Now, if I go to Georgia, it may be a little different for Brother Hawkins. And I can actually say that if I go to Georgia to visit a white lodge, it may be a little different for me. And y'all probably think I'm crazy, but it's all about who you know. I'm going to say that because I've had some other experiences here recently in regards to some things. And I can post a picture. I can actually post a picture, okay, with myself and the grand ambassador for the Grand Lodge of Georgia in regalia. Talk back to me. I could post that picture. We both in regalia. Hello, somebody. Everybody gone? Y'all ain't saying nothing. Y'all got quiet on me.
I'm reading some of the comments.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just reading some of the comments because it's like, okay, I got a question. This is a question.
Go for it.
So the only way I'm gonna use myself as an example. So the only way that I, as a ancient, free, and accepted nation, can go to Prince Hall is I have to heal. I have to be healed in. Now, one of the brothers on here, I'm sure you can answer that question. Is that the only way that I can become a PHA Mason is to be healed in? And a simple yes or no will suffice, Alex Fitzgerald. So that will be the only way. Now, my question is this. Since you said that's the only way, we know that Prince Hall, when he was initiated by John Back, that was a clandestine and a bogus initiation. So
that is a fact. That's a fact.
Where's the record of him ever being healed?
That's a fact.
So
That's a known fact.
He did receive a charter. Yes, he did. But where's the record of him ever being healed?
Hey.
If you say that's the only way,
Go ahead. Hello?
I mean, am I reaching? Am I reaching?
No, you're not reaching. You're speaking. Go ahead. Finish it.
You know what I mean? His charter was his heel. How could his charter be healed? So basically, you're saying that the charter that he received, or the second charter, quote unquote, that he received, that England sent the charter to an uninitiated nation.
Oh, man. So look, I'm gonna say this. We got about 5 minutes left, so wrap it up. Come on, bring it on home, somebody.
Of course, he was never a Prince Hall Mason. He was never a Prince Hall Mason the same way that John G. Jones was never an ancient Egyptian Arabic order of the Noble Mystic Shrine. He was never a member of that.
Wait a minute. This brother said John G. Jones. I would imagine he's talking about the membership of John G. Jones don't want to lose their titles. Brothers, I'm going to tell you, for me, it's not about the title. It's all about respect and how we treat each other. That title thing, titles means nothing to me. If I tell you I'm going to do something and I can't do it, and I just let the shit just fall, hit the ground, then my word is nothing. My word is everything. So for you to say that it's about titles, you're sadly mistaken. It has nothing to do with titles. From this end, I can't speak for everybody. From this end, go forward. If PHA, the traveling man says, if PHA and Grand Lodge Estate was combined, PHA would have to be absorbed into the state because they are larger. Absolutely. I will agree with you. If PHA and the Grand Lodge Estate was to combine, PHA would be absorbed by the Grand Lodge Estate. Absolutely. I do agree.
Right.
It's a
That's
fact of
another
the
good
matter.
question. That's another good question. Why doesn't PHA just absorb themselves into the state Grand Lodges?
Well,
Because
maybe
of the
it's,
history.
maybe it's
Somebody wants to
because
use the
because they like their titles. I don't know.
Right.
I just chalk it up as that the history. You know what I mean? Because they got a rich history, and I don't knock it. You know what I mean? I don't knock it. They got a rich history, and I think that if they was to absorb into the Grand Lodge State, then that would cause for them to actually pretty much abandon their own history. I don't think that wouldn't be something that I would want to do either. You know,
Right.
to lose the history, because the history is important. Now, don't get me wrong. What Prince Hall did, what he did, I'm very grateful for what he did. You know, I'm very grateful for what he did. Am I trying to knock him? No, I would never do that. That's not why I do it. I just ask questions, simple questions. But it's different when those others ask questions and they're expecting a certain answer. You know, if I don't give them the answer that they expect for me to give them, then it's a whole different ball game.
Well,
but if I ask them questions, go ahead, bro.
No, I'm gonna say this because the brother said this. I think this is what Alex Fitzgerald said. He said, I think the brothers is not considering Prince Hall was raised under a warrant and granted by dispensation. But you not
So that
forget.
was the same warrant.
Wait a minute.
That was the same warrant.
I'm gonna say
That was
this.
the same warrant that said John Beck was the Grand Master, right?
Absolutely. It's the same warrant that says John Bat was Grand Master. It's the same warrant that Prince Hall sent over to Boyce Lodge, you know, that later became a Grand Lodge out of Pennsylvania. It's the same one. A lodge cannot issue.
You said Boyer. You said Boyer.
Yes. A lodge cannot.
I thought Boyer was in New York.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is in New York.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this here.
Pennsylvania.
I'll tell you this here.
Well, that was the reason for it. That was the reason for John T. Hilton when he declared independence, because it was Boyer Lodge that put the pressure on him about the charter.
Absolutely, because a lodge cannot issue another lodge a charter, and that's what they did. Now, I would say this. I'm going to say this, so nobody won't think that I'm biased. If there's a member from the Prince Hall think tank or the Masonic Round Table or from whatever other Masonic venue out there that want to come on this channel and talk to myself, Freemason Unlocked, or Brother Debo Teller, you're certainly welcome to do so. And don't tell me because I don't have the split screen that you can't do it. That's an excuse that you don't want to come on. I'm just putting it out there like it is. You may continue. Hello, somebody. Oh, y'all ain't got quiet on me. But anyway, so look.
Traveling man, and Alex Fitzgerald. I want you to know that I respect your opinions. I'm not knocking you. I'm not trying to down you or anything like that. I respect your opinions. You know, and that's all part of being who we are. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, I respect any man's opinion.
Absolutely.
If it makes sense, I'll go with it. You know what I mean? But if it doesn't make sense, anytime you talk about a thing and it leaves you with more questions than answer, there's a problem.
Uh-huh. Well, look.
Times when we
go ahead. Speak up. Go ahead.
A lot of times when we talk about certain parts or portions of masonry, it leaves us with a lot of questions.
It does.
Why do you think you say your question is why did John G. Jones individual look past the fact that John Jones was expelled? How are you going to expel somebody when they're already gone?
I keep saying that. I keep saying that, brother.
True. That's true too.
How you gonna? Yeah, you're absolutely right. How you gonna expel somebody when they already gone? I keep saying that. I'm just saying. Talk back to me. But look.
Well, they say. Well, it'll be said that he was still on the as late as 1901. He was still on the rolls.
Let me tell you this here, brother Tebow, brother Freemason Unlocked. If I have a brother and I continue to pay his dues and send his name up on the Grand Lodge roster, is he not still part of the Grand Lodge? Even if he's gone?
His dues is paid.
As long as his dues is paid, is he not still part of the jurisdiction?
He's still going to be on that roster.
I just want people to think about that. If I pay for a brother who's no longer part of this jurisdiction, I kept his name on roster, I didn't send in no paperwork saying that he was gone, and I can keep him there until I say, okay, look, we've already reorganized the ancient Egypt Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystical Shrine. We no longer need him. Let's say that we expelled him, 1903. But hell, he's the most puissant sovereign grand commander of a whole nother jurisdiction with other Masons. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I just want you to look at this thing from a whole nother perspective. And if it's so, then how can it be? How can you still have this man on roll as the most puissant sovereign grand, as a Mason in your lodge, knowing that he's the most puissant sovereign grand commander in another jurisdiction? How can you have him on roll? No, y'all ain't ready for that. Because I can't answer that. I've been looking for an answer a long time.
I don't know, bro. I mean, it's like I said, sometimes, man, this thing leaves us with a lot of questions, more questions than answers. You know, more questions than answers. So they can't because it would look bad in the eyes of their white masters. Who's white masters?
King Musa, what's up, brother? That's King Musa right there.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, that's the question. He said, the Grand Lodge of Illinois said that that's where John G. Jones was quote unquote expelled from, was the Grand Lodge of Illinois.
Right.
Why did they have a circular celebrating their 145th anniversary, still honoring him and recognizing him as the most puissant sovereign grand commander of the southern and western jurisdiction? But Grand Lodge of Illinois is not part of the southern and western jurisdiction. So why would they honor that or give him honors to that? I think right then and there, they're recognizing that he was no longer a part of it.
Absolutely. You know what? And you can't take that back either. You can't take it back because, like you just said, they know look, they've already said that in 1895 that he was the most puissant sovereign grand commander of the southern and western Masonic jurisdiction. They also say that he caused a scrimmage within the southern jurisdiction. So if he's the most puissant sovereign grand commander for the southern and western Masonic jurisdiction, what is Thornton A. Jackson the most puissant sovereign grand commander of? The northern and what? Hello? Did I lose everybody?
Now you fading in and out though.
Okay, what I'm asking is that Thornton A. Jackson, what was Thornton A. Jackson's position as the most puissant sovereign grand commander? That's what I'm asking. What jurisdiction? The northern and what?
Western, wasn't it?
Okay, that being the case, John G. Jones is the most puissant sovereign grand commander for the southern and western, right? So if that's the case between both of them, and they said Jones caused a scrimmage in the southern jurisdiction, right? But they don't have him listed as a most puissant sovereign grand commander in their tree. But in their newsletter, dated the fall of 2012, they clearly says that he's the most puissant sovereign grand commander for the southern and western Masonic jurisdiction. So you're saying that you recognize the fact that that's where he was at. That's all I'm saying. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
I just don't believe where they keep saying that he was expelled in 1903 or 1903 or 1904.
Jones was already gone,
now,
bro.
My question is, even if that was the case, even if that was the case, why do they have such a lock on those minutes? What happened that year that they don't want you to see?
I don't know, but they've never came. I've actually asked to see the minutes, and they won't let me see the damn minutes.
I've been seeing quote unquote letters that circulating that they're saying is the minutes. But if you look at that letter, if you look at what they're circulating and saying is the minutes, if you look at the bottom of it, it says fraternally yours. What minutes end with fraternally yours?
Well, you tell me. So look,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just like I said. Some things leave you with more questions than answers. But I do believe that the most of John G. Jones' problems came by way of him questioning the legitimacy of the formation of the Grand Lodge of Massachusetts.
Well, he did challenge the authority. He did. So look,
and I think that's where all of the problems started right around that time. Remember, he was suspended. What was that, 1885? Was it 1885? That's when he filed a $20,000 lawsuit against the lodge. Him and his brother.
He did. They did. Absolutely. And they dropped the lawsuit and brought him back.
Yeah, they was reinstated.
Yep.
Then it says that now here's another thing. According to my understanding, or from what I've read, dealing with this so-called expulsion.
Well, y'all on one tonight. We in 2 hours and 19 minutes. Boy, y'all hot. God damn. Let's roll.
Well, the charges that he was supposedly brought up on, weren't even from the Grand Lodge of Illinois. The charges he was brought up on were from the Grand Lodge of Massachusetts.
I know that. You know that. But hey, I'm just saying.
I mean, it's just different. I mean, the history is so chopped up.
Look,
you know what I mean?
Until I'm gonna get each of you a closeout moment. We're gonna get ready to close right now, and I appreciate you, Brother Debo, my imperial potentate, and I said my imperial potentate, and you know why. I'm gonna, go ahead and close out, and then Brother Freemason Unlocked, you can close out too. Go ahead, Brother Debo.
Listen, before I get to this, I want to deal with something dealing with the shrine. Since you said that, so let's look at the shrine thing for a minute. In their history, the ancient Egyptian Arabic order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, in their history, they say that John G. Jones was the first. They give John G. Jones credit as being their first potentate when he was never a member of the organization. So
right.
When Isaac Holland. So this is a difference. So when Isaac Holland in 1898 or 1899, he was expelled from the original Imperial Council. That's why he sent out the call for them to quote unquote reorganize. Well, because he was actually expelled from the original Imperial Council. So what is the difference? Why do you accept one and not the other?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why would you accept one and not the other? So they say, well, the reason why Isaac Holland called for this reorganization was because all of a sudden They're going back saying that 1895 he was expelled. He
Uh-huh.
was expelled from the Supreme Council, and they no longer wanted to be up under expelled Mason. So it took you 5 years to decide that you didn't want to do this. It took him 5 years to decide that he didn't want to do this. Ironically, after he was expelled.
Yeah, it
So,
took them 5 years.
now, here's the kicker. They say in their history that it was Sahara Temple,
Right.
Sahara Temple, Magnus Temple, and Pyramid. The Pyramid number 1, which Isaac Holland was the illustrious potentate of.
Uh-huh.
Not only was Isaac Holland expelled, but the whole Pyramid Temple was expelled. Sahara Temple was expelled. Now don't get it confused, because it was a Sahara Temple in Homestead, Pennsylvania, and I think it was one in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
H.T. Brodus. Afterwards, so Magnus Temple was the third temple. Now, here's where the history gets kind of confusing, because if I had the minutes all the way from 1895 all the way up to 1919.
Whoa.
Both sides. Now, here's the funny thing. The funny thing is, there's a listing for Magnus Temple as Magnus Temple number 3, but from 1907 all the way down, they never ever made an appearance at any of their sessions. Even when the session was held in Virginia. No representation, no mention of them. It was just a mention of their names on their master roster. But if you go to Magnus Temple and you go to their website, it says their first potentate is not listed until 1946.
Well.
Same Magnus Temple number 3, still in Alexandria, Virginia, but they're not listed until 1946. Their first potentate. So, and to go one step back off of that. At the time that Isaac Holland called for his meeting, now I'm just associating this as Magnus Temple number 3 being in Alexandria, Virginia, because of Magnus Robinson. Magnus Robinson was also from Alexandria, Virginia, so this is where I'm thinking that the name Magnus Temple came from. Nonetheless, when Holland called for his meeting, Magnus Robinson was not there because he was not expelled until 14 months later.
Oh, go ahead. So look. No, go ahead.
I'm just gonna cut it right there.
All right, so
cut it right there.
Freemason Unlocked, go ahead and wrap me up tonight. Go ahead.
Yeah, so little brothers, you already know I respect every Freemason throughout the universe. Study your masonry, build King Solomon's Temple, and also for the brothers, whether you're PHA, PHO, whatever, start thinking a little bit. If you unite, right, as one, you don't have to lose your identity. You can still be PHA, you got PHO, you got Black Ancient Free and Accepted Masons. Everybody unites under one thing. Think about the strength and the power, man. Think about it.
They ain't ready for that though. So
what do you have to lose, man? Think about it.
Hey, you sound like Donald Trump when you said that one. I threw that one in on you. I'm just saying. But I hear what you're saying on the serious side. I hear what you're saying.
Man. What do you have to lose? Nothing.
Absolutely.
No competition. If anything, it causes all of the lodges to step it up.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you share the same territorial jurisdiction, the same way that PHA shares territorial jurisdiction with the various state grand lodges in most of the states of the Union. You lose nothing, but you gain power. Start thinking, man. Be smart. That's all I would say as far as that.
Well, I'm gonna get ready to that's that Southern coming out of me right there. That's that South, baby. That's that Mississippi. Woo! So look, we're gonna wrap it up tonight. I want to say I thank everyone for coming on, and I would appreciate the traveling man. I want to say thank you very much for your comments, your posts. But this show is open like that. We're not gonna block anybody. We're not gonna pull anything unless it's just totally just to the left or to the right. Then we have to pull it. But other than that, we just want to welcome everybody aboard to this particular show. We hope that you got something out of this tonight. And I think this should really, in my opinion, squash that debate because I want to move past that. And the only reason I did this show tonight was because I was getting a lot of kickback in my inboxes in regards to that whole syndrome. And I'm like, okay, so look, I think this should settle everything. And I think this was a great show to do it. We've been on here 2 hours and almost 30 minutes. So if we haven't answered your questions tonight or whatever, then it ain't gonna get answered. And I challenge anybody, if you want to come on this show and have that conversation, you're welcome to do so. You can just call in and we can talk about it. You know? But it has to be during the time that we are live streaming. You know what I mean? You can't be it can't be that clandestine time when you just call me because you watching the show and you think I'm still on live. No. But anyway, I'm gonna get ready to close out, and I want to say I appreciate Brother Debo from Delaware, and I appreciate my brothers Freemason Unlocked out of New York, and definitely my Grandmaster who's sitting right here looking at me like I done lost my mind. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in. So we're gonna call it a night, and as always.
Let me greet the Grandmaster, brother. I apologize. How you doing, Grandmaster?
Brother, greetings. Greetings. I just come over, man, just to get me something to eat, So, but nah, this brother, he's live, man. He came in, I walked in, he was hot tonight, so I just let him do his thing, and that's how it is. And I'll enjoy hearing all the comments, the debate back and forth as to what's real and what's myth, as well as, what's true, and it's all out there. So I just enjoy listening and I just enjoy sitting back, brother. But thank you, man. I'm glad to meet you, brother Debo. Freemason Unlocked. Bro, you got my number, man. You can call me anytime.
Oh, yeah, likewise. Peace, brother Grandmaster.
All right, until we meet again, until we greet, everybody, keep your light on and stay out the bushes. I'm out.